Before we get into this special weekend edition of Just the Truth, let me tell you about the latest special from Michael and Dell at MyPillow. The standard MyPillow, normally $49.98, for a limited time only, just $14.88 with promo code Joey. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener specials, and see all the specials. There's a limited quantity of just 10 at this special price. That's $14.88 with promo code Joey. Thanks for joining me in the PhD Weight Loss Studio. To lose weight for the last time, visit myphdweightloss.com. I'm joined today by two community leaders doing some great work right here in the upstate of South Carolina. Lara Ceisel is Executive Director of the Barbara Stone Foundation, and Carlene Zierfuss, Transition Coordinator with the Greenville County Schools. And we're talking about an event that's all about opportunity, especially for students with disabilities and their families. On Thursday, February the 5th, the Barbara Stone Foundation with the Greenville County Schools is partnering for the Road to Possibilities, an opportunity fair at the University Center in Greenville. It's free, it's family-friendly, and brings together resources on education, jobs, life skills, and community support for students as they plan for life after high school. And it's open to everyone. Lara, Carlene, thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having us.
Sure thing. Let's start with you, Lara, and let's start with the foundation itself. What's the mission of the Barbara Stone Foundation, and what community needs were you founded to address?
The Barbara Stone Foundation mission is to serve as a champion for individuals with disabilities. So a fairly broad mission. A lot of our work focuses on meeting the needs of the disability community, primarily when there are big gaps in services. So, for example, this Road to Possibilities Opportunity Fair addresses that gap by bringing resources together from the community, because oftentimes families and individuals with disabilities, when they leave high school, experience kind of a drop-off as far as access to services or resources or opportunities.
And tell us who Barbara Stone was.
Barbara Stone was a mother here in Greenville who had a child with disabilities in the 60s. Her son is still alive. Barbara is not. And her son, Barham, was born with a severe and profound disability. And there weren't a lot of services outside of the schools or institutions. And Barbara worked to create those services first in Greenville County and then across the state of South Carolina. She worked with local legislators and other families to establish what is today Thrive Upstate, Greenville County Disabilities and Special Needs Boards, and then the other disabilities and special needs boards around the state of South Carolina. So a visionary, determined woman who wanted the best for her child and the best for families who were experiencing something similar.
Yeah. Carlene, you're on the front lines with students and families every day. How does the partnership with the Barbara Stone Foundation help Greenville County Schools support young people with disabilities?
The partnership with Barbara Stone Foundation is invaluable, particularly in terms of transition services. As Lara just spoke of, the access and the opportunity and getting the word and supports out to students and out to families. I mean, they're another avenue to help us do that. Parenting is such a privilege and such a joy, but it can be difficult and even compounded when the child has a disability. And so working with Barbara Stone allows us to work with students and families while they're in school to make those necessary preparations for when they exit school. I mean, if you think about it, a student's educational journey can start at age 3 with students with disabilities, and they can stay through their 21st birthday. And when they go across that stage with whatever outcome they've earned, whether it's a certificate or a regular diploma or a credential, their schedule and their routine, but those services, they stop. So everything they knew is no longer. So if we don't work with Barbara Stone and other agencies out there that will be part of this fair, after they come home from graduation, they're left with what option, right? Parents, other family members will go to work, but if we haven't put in the due diligence to do the planning and make the connection, then it could be maybe not a brightest future as it could with partnerships like this.
Yep. My guest today is Lara Ceisel, the Executive Director of the Barbara Stone Foundation, and Carlene Zierfuss, Transition Coordinator with Greenville County Schools. This year's Road to Possibilities Fair is coming up February the 5th. Can you walk listeners through what this event is all about and who it's designed for? And we'll start with you, Carlene.
Yes, absolutely. And thank you again for letting us get this word out. This is an absolutely free event. So there is no charge, and you will have most likely 75 plus exhibitors there from all organizations and agencies. So the Upstate comes together. Parents can have resources from post-secondary education, training programs. Employers will be present. Mobility options, recreation and leisure and hobby pursuits. I'm trying to think of financial planning and literacy, guardianship, advocacy, independent living resources. And the nice thing is that some of the exhibitors that will be there and have tables and information available, they can even provide support such as respite or a little relief while they're in school in preparation for that exit.
Yeah. Lara, if you would, for families who maybe have never attended before, what kind of resources and organizations, and be specific with some that they can expect to connect with at the Opportunity Fair?
So one of the things that we're proud of, if I may say that.
Absolutely. Yes.
From the Opportunity Fair is that this partnership is really strong, and we developed it last year. Carlene and I over lunch developed it last year and had this vision. So it follows in Barbara's footsteps of a huge community collaboration and effort. That being said, Carlene mentioned 75 exhibitors. Of those exhibitors, Greenville County Schools provides their own resources for what they provide to their students. Barbara Stone does the same thing, but then we have our service providers and agencies like Thrive Upstate, which is the largest service provider in Greenville County. We have Greenville Connects, which is a transportation service. We have
VR. And
we have vocational rehab. We have
OIDD, the ARC, which is formerly DDSN. We
have the ARC of the Midlands. We have
have
other smaller nonprofits that focus on recreation, like Adaptive Pickleball, Adaptive Golf, Upstate Carolina Adaptive Golf. We have
Lowe's, Michelin,
several
BMW,
potential
major employers, communication and speech therapy agencies, behavioral modification agencies. Even we're looking at agencies where individuals with autism and clothing for sensitivities. And so it literally is a one-stop shop. The majority of the organizations in Greenville for all the areas we mentioned will have a table and a presence there. And they also will leave with access to a resource guide. And so TASC is a major partner of ours also. And so they have what's called the Emma Project. And so they use the resource guide or our spreadsheet, and then they launch that as well as one of their employees. So parents will have all the names, what they do, what they provide, their email addresses, and their phone numbers, just for making time to come, as well as, I think, Lara, we should mention Table 301, cater, they donate, and the family can enjoy a beautifully catered meal.
And one of the things that was important to us specifically in planning this event was that families would be able to attend without it being a hardship. So if they had to find childcare, that we would kind of alleviate that potential burden and allow it to be a full family event where they were able to receive a very good quality meal. So that partnership with Table 301 is also very important to us.
And the entertainment and the door prizes, we had several parents just stop us last year and say, we are having the time of our life. Because you think about it, this is the whole community. The Upstate community for individuals with disabilities just coming together to make this happen for our families and for students, for the special education staff, for advocates, anyone.
And to be very real. It's true that it can be difficult for families who have a child with disabilities to get out,
Yeah.
To be able to socialize with other families, and to be able to connect to the community as a whole. So we really wanted this event to support that effort and that possibility as well.
Yeah. Well, and isn't it just great when you see all these various people and organizations come together for an event like this? I mean, you mentioned Table 301. I mean, when Carl Sobocinski and his team get together, you know you're going to have some good food. But all these other groups who come together to make a day like this special. Lara, you mentioned last year. Was last year the first year you did this?
Last year was the first year, yeah.
Yeah. So what did you learn from last year that you brought forward to this year?
That's a really great question.
A workshop.
Last year we actually incorporated workshops into the event, and they weren't very well attended because families really wanted that time to talk to the different agencies and organizations that were there. They wanted to get to know people and build relationships. That those workshops kind of took away from that. So we did not include workshops this year.
And that really was the biggest.
Yeah, what we learned is that people loved the event and they wanted it to happen again.
They wanted it a week. They asked if we could do it a week.
They basically asked for us to put a full conference on. So our vision, I think, long term will be to grow this event to a community-wide conference, maybe a Southeastern conference. That's a big dream. But for now, we're really pleased to do this for a second year and to maintain those partnerships.
Yeah. Lara Ceisel and Carlene Zierfuss are my guests today. Carlene, as a transition coordinator, what are some of the biggest hurdles that families are facing planning for life after high school?
I think knowing what's out there, and I think starting early, which is where the district is working so hard to just educate our teachers, educate our parents, educate all staff, therapists, anyone that works with them about what does it look like when a child or a young adult with a disability exits school, and just knowing. I think also the waiting list. It's a shift when you are in school. You're entitled. It's entitlement, a system of entitlement through their 21st birthday. But when you shift to that adult, it becomes eligibility. So I think a hurdle, but I think we have such a great team. I mean, the special ed leadership, from the superintendent down, we are behind just working as hard and as quick as we can to inform and empower as many parents, as many students, and as many staff about how do we do this thing called transition planning. It can't be done in a silo. It's a very much collaborative work, and you can see some of that at its finest right now.
Yeah. Lara, beyond this event, what are some of the other programs, initiatives that the Barbara Stone Foundation is involved in, and some of your priorities for 2026? And if someone wants to help or be involved, how do they do that?
Great. So some of Barbara Stone Foundation's other initiatives include our Up Employment Initiative, which is an employment-focused program. We provide direct employment support to individuals with disabilities who are either employed or looking for employment. So that kind of meets this need and plugs into this system post high school. One of the things that's so important about this event, Road to Possibilities, is the connection between Greenville County Schools and a nonprofit. These kind of partnerships don't exist very often here in Greenville. So Barbara Stone Foundation focuses on building partnerships like that, sometimes unlikely partnerships, in order to kind of clear the path forward for individuals and families with disabilities. So our Up Employment Initiative, we also are the proud facilitators of Greenville CAN, which stands for Collaborative Action Network. That is a coalition of community disability leaders, service providers, families, self-advocates, all of the disability community that work to identify barriers and problems facing the disability community. And then we work together collaboratively, not competitively, to identify solutions, and then as the foundation is able, we invest in those solutions, whether it's through a partnership like this, Road to Possibilities, or whether it's funding grants, which is another one of our programs. We operate the Community Innovations Grants Program. That is kind of the foundation of the Barbara Stone Foundation. We started as a traditional grant funding nonprofit in 1991 and have since evolved and created direct service models. But that is at the heart of where we started. It's part of our DNA. We raise money in order to fund other nonprofits who are providing opportunities to people with disabilities.
Sure. And if you're listening today and you'd like additional information, you can go to barbarastonefoundation.org, barbarastonefoundation.org, and see about all the great initiatives that they are taking. Carlene, we have about a minute left today. What's one message that you would like families and students to walk away with after this year's The Road to Possibilities?
I would love them to walk away with that the future can be very bright as it was during their school year. That brightness can continue. It just takes a little planning and collaboration with everyone on their school's child's IEP team, as well as any of the resources that we can connect them to on Thursday evening, February 5th. So that would be the message, is that they will be empowered and they will have knowledge and they can start the very next morning they wake up.
Yeah. Lara, Carlene, thank you both for what you're doing in our community, and thanks for your time today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Your comments are welcome on the Furman Ford text line, 864-477-JOEY. That's 864-477-5639. Email's always welcome, joey@joeyhudson.com. It's not your fault that losing weight is getting harder and harder. You're eating better, you're moving more, but your body isn't responding the way it used to. That's not willpower, that's metabolism. And believe me, I've learned so much about the metabolism from the folks at PhD Weight Loss, and it's made a huge difference in my life. Joey Hudson here. For many people, years of dieting quietly slows the metabolic system down, so the harder you try, the less progress you see. At PhD Weight Loss, they help people identify what's actually blocking fat loss, and they fix the root cause, not just count calories. If you want to understand why your body isn't cooperating, call PhD Weight Loss now and mention Fix My Weight Loss to unlock the New Year's special. It's free, it's personalized, and it could explain everything. Call 864-644-1900 and say Fix My Weight Loss. That's 864-644-1900 and say Fix My Weight Loss to get started today. You can also find them online at myphdweightloss.com. That's myphdweightloss.com. Start the new year off right and fix your weight loss. Joining me today, Melanie Watt, founder and CEO of Hope Remains Ranch. This is a nonprofit ministry in Welford here in the Upstate. Is this to offer hope, healing, and spiritual growth for children, adults, families through programs like mentoring, counseling, and just building a relationship with a horse. It's a great program making a difference in lives here in Upstate South Carolina. Melanie, thanks for being here. It's always good to talk with you.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Let's just start at the very beginning, Melanie, for people who maybe aren't familiar with Hope Remains Ranch. And what inspired you to start the ranch, and how did your own journey lead you to this ministry?
Well, the Lord laid this on my heart when I was a 12-year-old little girl, believe it or not, and I was out grooming my horse, Princess, and it was, back in my day, in the early 70s, late 60s, we didn't go to counseling. And so it was just a taboo word. And so, with hurting kids and things that I was exposed to, and some things that had occurred in my life at that time, the Lord just laid it on my heart to one day start a ranch for hurting kids. And that's how it all began. There's a lot of back history with that. And I didn't start the ranch till I was 45. And so even as a special ed teacher and school teacher, I was able to see how the kids were hurting and, cutting and suicidal, those kinds of things. And the Lord just reiterated the fact of the need that there needs to be a place where kids, adults, and families can go to get the help they need. So that's the general reason
Yeah.
Why it was started. Hope Remains Ranch was started.
Yeah. A big part of what you do involves, of course, working with horses. There's a lot of different components, and we're going to kind of drill down to those. But explain why this type of ministry is such a powerful tool for healing and growth.
For using horses, Joey, it's if you use horses, you can get to the root of the problem 4 times faster. That is scientifically proven. Horses they mirror your behavior, and they can lower your blood pressure. They can, some people would think, oh my goodness, I'd be scared to death to use a horse so big. And well, we've got miniature horses as well, but it's not that. Horses can calm you down and can love you right where you're at. There's no judgment there. And we specialize in trauma, domestic violence, sex trafficking, divorce, and all sorts of things like that. So when people, young, old, medium, whatever the age is, they come, and it's very hard to talk to people in general because people are the ones that have hurt them. And so when we go out and start grooming a horse, it allows them to relax. Or if we're doing activity, it looks like we're playing with horses, actually.
Yeah.
And the horses help drop those walls, and it's easier for even the soldiers that we deal with PTSD and the terrible dreams that they deal with. It's easier for them to whisper in the horses' ears and just share with them all the things that have been done. And, we can back up and listen and be there to help them. And the horses just love them right where they're at. There's no judgment. And you don't have to worry about running into them at the mall or Walmart or out shopping anywhere. And they're not going to tell anybody. They can keep the best secrets. And that's a lot of their fear factors when people have experienced so much trauma. They're afraid of being hurt and re-hurt and re-hurt again. So that's the reason why we use the horses, is because it helps break down those walls, and it gives us a chance, because we're biblical counselors here. It helps us to have an opportunity to come in the back door, if you will, to let people know that we too don't judge them at all. We're going to love them just as Jesus does us, with no judgment, and love them right where they're at. And that's what the horses do. It's a great representation of, hope.
Yeah. Melanie Watt is my guest today, founder, CEO of Hope Remains Ranch. Melanie, you and I have talked about this before. If you've never been around horses, they can be a little intimidating. I mean, they can be large animals. Of course, I grew up riding, had horses, ponies, donkeys. But yes, they're big animals, but they're just so caring and loving. I mean, you can really develop a relationship with them. They have personalities.
Yes, they do. We've got 14 horses here, and we've got 6 miniature horses, and it's amazing how the horses do. Like I said, they read, they become who you are, and we've worked with some ladies that have been in domestic violence situations, and they just try to curl up and sit in their laps. They just try to love them. And people do seem to be scared at first, but they're not. The horses just put their heads on their shoulders, and when someone's crying, and when you got a little girl or a little boy who's been sexually abused, these animals just, again, to keep repeating it, they just continue to love people right where they are. There's no judgment. They're just, all they know how to be is a horse. And they got such caring personalities. There's no agenda.
Yep. For additional information about this great program, find them online at hoperemains.org, hoperemains.org. Now let's kind of drill down a bit, Melanie, and talk about some of the specific programs. You have the main event, stable care, healing hooves. Walk us through how some of these work and the kinds of transformations you've seen.
Oh, goodness. The main event is our free mentoring program, and that's where children from 5 through 17-year-olds are assigned one mentor and a horse, and they work through a curriculum. And, we've had, and then there's stable care. That's free parenting here. Healing Hooves is our counseling division. We got summer camp that comes into starts in June, and we've got Workhorse Academy. That's where the schools come and they learn different aspects of based off their IEP goals and 504 plans. So there's a lot of avenues that they can learn here and break down and work through some of their trauma or educational issues that they may be having, that they thrive here versus in the regular classroom. But from a story standpoint, we've had children, Joy, that have never spoken a word before that have come here, and because the kids are so relaxed and so at ease that they have spoken for the very first time.
Wow.
Parents get to hear that, and we've had children that have been raped and molested here that where the horses have pointed that out in sessions, and we've ended up having to call DSS, or the authorities to take care of whoever the predators are. There's just things that the horses don't use words, of course, but they can do things that will, for those of us who've been trained in equine therapy, that can know that the horse is trying to get our attention about things.
Yeah.
But just last year, we had an impact of 3,200 people.
Wow.
And we've had as many as 4,000 here. So the Lord is really moving in a mighty way here, and we're called Hope Remains for a reason. We truly believe that hope does remain in the Lord, and we just get to use these powerful animals to help do that work. And no judgment here. We serve everybody, all ages, and some have asked, do you have to be a Christian to be here? No, absolutely not. We have served all across the board of different religions and no religions, and the same thing. That's not, we just, again, try to love people where they're at.
Yeah. Talk with us about, and with me today, Melanie Watt, founder and CEO of Hope Remains Ranch. Again, you can find information at hoperemains.org. Talk with us about the volunteers and community supporters and people who help make this ministry possible, and what roles they play. And it may be someone who's listening today wants to be a part of it.
Oh, gosh, that would be great. We need folks that can be mentors, and we do specialized training for that. And that's just one day a week. That's on a Monday from 4 to 5:30. And we need folks to help us with our stable care. That's also on Monday. But a special area that we've got buckaroos and wranglers here, which are buckaroos are ages 8 through 12, and wranglers are 13 through 17. And we need adults that are willing to do 1.5 hours on a Thursday and to be committed to help these young folks come out here and help us groom the horses, take care of the grounds out here. We pour into them, and our wranglers, we end up training them to be our leaders for summer camp in June. So it's just an extra mile of where people can just pour into other kids and young people to make a difference. And the parents don't have to stay on at the ranch while they're here. You can drop them off, and the parents feel safe with them being here, and things that they're learning. It's good old-fashioned manners and respect that we want them to learn, so that when they get their jobs and when they're out trying to help their neighbors, or even in school, how to learn to speak to others and shake their hands and look at them in the eyes and those kinds of things. Just good old-fashioned values and character we're trying to build into these young folks so that they can go out and make a difference as well. Yeah.
Melanie, Hope Remains, you're around, I think I read it's 26 acres. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
26 acres. That takes a lot of maintenance. And the programs are free. Is that correct as well?
Yes.
Yeah. So that takes.
Now our counseling is a fee based.
Yeah.
But that's on It's a sliding scale, and then our contracts with the schools is based off the number of kids that we serve in each school district. But everything else is free.
Yep. So you need donations, you need volunteers, partnerships, and there's an opportunity coming up in March if someone wants to have some fun, but also help support just a great program like Hope Remains. Talk with us about your upcoming event in March.
Yes, that's our sporting clay shoot, and that's March 13th. We're going to have that at Riverbend, which is on the address is 1000 Wilkie Bridge Road in Inman. And we need more teams. So come out, guys and gals, and support us in that way. It's a great day, a lot of fun. We'll feed you well, and you'll have a good time. So yeah, we need all the folks we can to sign up for this.
Yeah, and again, that's March the 13th. Is there? Can you register online? What's the process of becoming part of this?
Yes. Yeah, if you go to hoperemains.org, all the information should be there. If not, you can, which I think it is, but if not, you can always give us a call here at the ranch.
Yep. And
864-249-3532.
Yep, and I do see the registration button online there as well. So hoperemains.org, just click on register here, and it has all the information there. The various sponsorship levels as well. Big shot is $5,000. Maybe you own a business and you'd like to help out, and this includes 2 4-shooter teams as well. There are other levels too. Team sponsor $1,500, a lunch sponsor $1,500 there as well. So if you feel led to support a great organization, go to hoperemains.org and help out on this upcoming annual sporting clay and shoot here that's going to be at Riverbend. Melanie, let's talk for a minute about, in our final couple of minutes or so together here, what's the one message that you would want our listeners to walk away with about what you do at the ranch there? And what's the difference between Hope Remains and maybe other similar ministries?
Well, the difference is that, we're all trying to give hope.
Yep.
And what you find here is a hope and a second chance, and people that's just going to love you. And, Hope Remains is, we've been around for 20 years, going on 20 years, and we are here for everybody, as many of the other ministries are, and we're one of the few equine ministries locally here. We offer a lot of different programs, and there are other equine places out there. But again, we are biblically based, and we want people to know that no matter what you've gone through, what you've done, who you are, what your past is, that the Lord loves you, and we would like an opportunity to give you a chance and pour into you and give you hope.
Yeah. Melanie Watt is my guest, founder, CEO of Hope Remains Ranch. One final question for you. If someone is listening today and they feel like that you can bless them, can benefit them, what's the first step to become part of the program?
All they got to do is make a phone call. And they can even go online, follow us on Facebook, or just call our main office, and someone will be there to answer your phone call or leave a message for us, and we'll get back with you within 24 hours for sure.
Yeah.
And we'll walk you through every process with each program, or even to be a volunteer. If you want to be a volunteer, everything you need is online.
Yeah.
The application's there, the whole 9 yards. So they're a very easy process.
Yep. Melanie, it's always good to catch up with you. Appreciate what you do, and we'll talk again soon.
Thank you so much.
That's it for this special weekend edition of Just the Truth. Thanks for joining me in the PhD Weight Loss Studios. To lose weight for the last time, visit myphdweightloss.com. If you haven't joined my mailing list yet, visit my website, joeyhudson.com. Click on the Connect with Joey button so that you can receive our emails and the most up-to-date news. Also, join me on my YouTube channel. Be sure and like, comment, and subscribe. Just search for Joey Hudson. As always, thanks for spending a few minutes of your day with me. Do me a favor and forward this episode to a few friends. Just click on the share button button and send to your contacts. We need to build an army of conservatives to win our country back, and we can do that by continuing to share the truth with our friends and family. Keep those comments coming via the Furman Ford text line 864-477-JOEY. Email to joey@joeyhudson.com, and I love your messages on the MyPillow message line. Again, that's 864-477-JOEY, 864-477-5639. Be sure and take advantage of the MyPillow special, just $14.88 on the standard MyPillows when you use promo code Joey. Order online at mypillow.com or call 800-893-4053. We're back again tomorrow and hope you'll plan to join us. Until then, remember, God's got this. He's still in control.